A thump and a scream are heard, and when Alice rushes to the door, Taylor is waiting for her with a cackling pumpkin that they had themselves hung up outside earlier that day. Tess is watching her mother because she's still angry that the agency sent a different nurse. Alice thanks Taylor for saving her life, and when she says, "You like me," Taylor responds that she does. Patty wants Victor to assist her in using the restroom, not Tess. She actually prefers living in a nursing home to having Tess carry her to the restroom. "I want Victor, not you," she said. Patty screams. Finley is counting money at the Dana Fairbanks Memorial Tavern when Sophie sneaks up behind her and gives her a sleeveless weather girl suit. Sophie says, "I'm sorry I didn't tell you about Shane earlier." It's stupid, but Finley says she spoke to Shane, who said nothing of the sort. Maybe Shane is embarrassed. Sophie suggests they dispute after Finley inquires about Sophie's feelings of shame over what she done. Finley has obviously been angered by Sophie having a relationship with Drawwall. He was in recovery. A female offers to buy Sophie a drink when she finishes her tab at the bar, but Sophie declines because she has a girlfriend. Ivy's thong is removed by Shane, who then slides Ivy's finger down her throat before pressing Ivy's hand against the back of the Misty car. Finley steps outdoors to empty the trash and realizes that Sophie was correct. The last person left is Micah, who is still simply filled with parental dread. When Shane comes back, Finley is waiting in the office, furious. Actually, Finley is more upset about this because he feels personally deceived than on Tess's behalf. Shane and Tess, according to her, made perfect sense. Finley probably saw herself and Sophie as she turned to look at them before storming out of the establishment. Finley yells. Roxy and Donnie are now back in Donnie's apartment. They begin kissing, which is rather hot after that, but Roxy suddenly feels something jab her. It's an earring, the one Gage misplaced, and about which she inquired at the beginning of last week's program. Donnie needs to stop right now. Donnie ultimately breaks down. "I suppose I'm still in love with my ex-girlfriend," she says. Alice is getting ready to show Taylor who she really is. Taylor, on the other hand, isn't a licensed driver. Alice is eager for her to drive up to her house. As soon as she receives it, though, when Ivy texts to say she's out front, Shane is once more brooding in the back room of the Dana Fairbanks Memorial Tavern, perhaps wondering how she managed to give Finley the impression that she was ready for idolization. She runs into the one and only Max Sweeney as a very determined Shane bursts through the bar to get to her. Shane insists that she is not being Shane at all and that she is fantastic. When Max asks if she has settled down or if she is still being Shane, then Micah returns with more questions as Shane leaves. When Maribel gets home, her sister is dejectedly curled up on the couch with a bag of candies. But Maribel has some complaints of her own. Sophie is curious as to whether Maribel believes that she resembles her father, a cheater who fled in the past. Sophie has in fact been a cheater who persisted. Maribel concedes that Sophie does have a pattern, and Finley and she both agree just on that Sophie doesn't want to resemble her father. Maribel might perhaps treat Mike nicer because, as Sophie points out, he won't leave her. When Bella returns to the dorm, she insists Angie reveal everything. Roxy announces she will leave Los Angeles and travel to Costa Rica, while Donnie and Roxy are munching popcorn. After Shane tore Finley's heart to pieces, Finley has returned home. Finley tells Sophie, "You are right in every way." Finley wants to believe in Sophie, but isn't sure how. Sophie will have to explain everything to her so that she will know what everything is and can avoid it or destroy it without being concerned that it will suddenly emerge around the corner. Finally, Micah is an avocado. He also wants Maribel to know, as Max told him, that parenting should be enjoyable. Maribel accepts his apologies. Shane is telling Ivy at the Dana Fairbanks Memorial Tavern that they need to stop what they are doing. Ivy says to Shane that she was an awakening for her, and Shane reassures Ivy that she truly means it when she says this meant a lot to her. She gives Ivy's hand a squeeze and thanks him. After taking a big breath, Shane turns around to see who actually arrived at the party.